Katata Tiago bakali kabadon 4-star safety rating. Nya daga Tiago bachangan kali kawan ke jongpi. Nya daga Tiago nakabenta ke jinsangan kalonging jongpi. Wan chaka Frank Motors halat korban test drive mentah.
The all-new Tiago. It's seriously fun.
Durand Cup is the oldest football tournament in Asia and the third oldest in the world. The tournament was started in 1888 in Annandale, Shillong, and was named after its founder, Sir Henry Mortimer Durand, who was the Foreign Secretary to the Government of India at that time. Initially, Durand Cup was a football tournament for the different departments and regiments of the armed forces of British India and Native India.
Kanong ba Shillong kalayo bakan saki da kalagi jong ki khmat ya ki lightly ki trophy ki bdei nagam da limpong ila kai football ka blarem ha hakari ki Durand Cup ka ba menta ganti kini ka limpong ka ba shispa lai puar kan long hagoti Kokrajhar bat Kolkata ya kini ki lightly ki trophy layo ban pni pai ba swani kong ya ka ha ka jingalang ka blalong hapo State Convention Center ha ka ba ukongsan balawan banya donlang ha kini ki sngi doi menteri rang ba ka Jylla ukondat ki sangma u chief secretary uba DP walang IS Lieutenant General Sanjay Malik uba Air Marshal Tajinder Singh kendiat Jepang halo ke Durand Cup kadai ke limpong ilaka football kabla rimba ha ke ba Asia kendiat Jepang ke Durand Cup kadai ke limpong ilaka football kabla rimba ha ke ba Asia kabla sang ningkong ika house name Siaja Praspa Prabhupra hakaba la sengika do u Henry Mortimer Durand hakaba hagisnem ki pasdang ningkong ye ki kunhon ki bayo bani chimenta ki dei tang ki kunhon ki bailekai da ki shipal ki swal ki badon hakari dei hagani ki jungwan batpini pai ba ye ki lightly ki trophy jong Durand Cup ba nakalang ukondat ki sangma ula penbana ba house name 8000 arpusa ubanwan kanong ba Shillong kanong kawai ni kinong ba jong kari kaban pedang ban pelong ye ki limpong ilakai kabab benanam hakari haga jinsisha ya kawai ne kijingi kun nagam ta group jong ka limpong labu ban pelong hangni hanong ba Shillong kata JN Stadium Polo Henry kajing bamla ban penbyang ya kamadan ban yela kai baru kajing bamla ke company ke balashimti ban tay penthama ya ke stadium hi boro kawai kala pelong yi ki bor penya bagin haban kenria no ya ke kijingi kun shaki bai pat ki jaka hagani ga kinti ke bamta ko ni ki club ilaka ke bapa ha ke Jylla ke balayo biang bandrung sakai li ke Shillong lejong FC kan yo ban airang hagani ke lempung ke ban sedang nado kalai tri ku benai banwan hagani ga kinti ke Shillong lejong le penyakap ha ke group D ke badonlang ke North East United FC ke FC Goa ban ke Downtown Heroes FC na Kashmir habakren kumukongsan ukonrad upan pau baka Sorkar hagis nem ki bladep kalashim kya ban kinti wiki kamila kai bat kamtam ya ke football hakaba kum ke Jylla kalala ru ba kanyo bandrung wat chido ka finals jong ka Santosh Trophy ka brega way ni ki limpong ilakai branam jong ki Jylla hakari ada ka jo ka por ulaong ba ka jing ilakai football ka day ka ba upay ba nong song song jong ka Jylla uit ba usot nat palat yaka but day halo kani ka nong rem ba nakalang ka Sorkar kan shim ya kani ki jingkit kli ba house name ubanwan kani ka limpong ilakai kan long hangni hanong ba Shillong.
It's indeed a privilege for Headquarter 101 area to host the iconic Durand trophies in Shillong on behalf of the armed forces. I must also admit here that the support of the state machinery in putting this up has been phenomenal, and I'm grateful to the Honorable Chief Minister and his entire team and support staff for the same. The Indian Army on behalf of the armed forces has been organizing this prestigious tournament with pride since independence and has put this tournament on the global footballing map with its longevity and heritage. Started in 1988, the 134-year-old legacy tournament is all set to become more thrilling as service teams from our friendly neighbors, Nepal and Bangladesh, also compete in this year's edition. The reach of the Durand Cup in the Northeast has been expanded, and the legend of Durand this year has been brought to Shillong, the beautiful capital of the state of Meghalaya, for the first time.
I first of all would like to thank General Sanjay Malik ji for having agreed to have this program here today. To number one, unveil the different trophies under the Durand Cup, and also to announce that Meghalaya will be one of the host states for the 2024 tournament. Meghalaya has always had a very, very strong connection with sports and specifically with soccer. And it is quite evident from the fact that many footballers playing at national level have come out of our state, and also from the different teams that have performed exceptionally well at the national level in different tournaments that have been held in different parts of the country. Recently, the Meghalaya team has also made it to the finals of the Santosh Trophy, which was a very, very big step and another testimony of the kind of talent that our state has and the potential that it can have in the coming years. For us as a state, we have realized that the kind of talent and the kind of passion, I should say, that our youngsters have for different sports and different disciplines needs to be supported in the correct manner. And hence, in the last 5 years, tremendous amount of energy, a lot of financial support, and different activities have been held in order to ensure that sports is given priority in our state.
Hagawai pat kaliang na kaliang director jong katna sports and youth affairs kong isa wanda lalu IAS kalapan pau hakabaning kong latmu ban pelong ya kawai na kijing kunjung ki group hang ni hanong ba Shillong kata hajian stadium pulu anda kijing ya kabami pat kalong ba kamaran yilaka hi Klam simlala ban pinbiang Khubor ke belabu namar hapneng kijing persang yau plang balatung Klam simlala ban pensan yu kumba day ban long namar ba uslap lawan deadpor kata martin dep ban no yusembai hau bna yoyong bat ban rapat da kijing wan kensan ban ter ulaba hau bna jemang da kumta haba penchong nong rem ya ka e ka badon kam palat la sngotu ba hakani ka kinti ka bamenta anamla ban pelong ya kani ka lempung ilakai hang ni hapo ka Jylla.
Yeah, so as you're aware, Shillong was definitely one of our preferred destinations, and we put in a lot of effort along with the government and with full support from the government of Meghalaya to bring up the infrastructure. As you're aware, the Durand Cup is now one of the qualifying tournaments for the Asian Federation Cup, and all 12 Indian Super League teams, which are the top 12 club teams in the country, they participate in the Durand Cup. So the infrastructure and the technical requirements that are there are actually of international standards, right? So we worked hard to try and bring up the infrastructure and the facilities up to that standard. But right at the fag end, because of the vagaries of weather, which is beyond everybody's control, despite the joint best efforts, the ground condition could not measure up because of the heavy rains that came in. And the natural surface grass that was to take root could not fully stabilize. It's not just one-off match, it has to sustain the entire 10 to 11 matches. And played at that high intensity, high competitiveness, there is bound to be attrition. So one is the infrastructure part, but the more important part is protecting the fitness of our players. They can suffer injuries, and a lot of hamstrings and other such tears can happen if the surface is not conducive to even sport. So that was the only consideration, and we are quite optimistic and hopeful, and we shall work hard to make sure that 2024 Shillong is one of the venues.
On the initiative of the Indian Army, we were also very hopeful, in fact, and after numerous rounds of consultation, ground inspections, the major concern, as it turned out, was the field of play, because the grass was not growing at the rate expected, despite all the efforts which were taken from our side. We understand, as Major General has stated, that the ground conditions need to be, in an excellent condition. Although we had seeded the grass early in the month of April, however, unexpectedly we had an intense spell of drought in the month of April, followed by very heavy rains in the month of May. Therefore, it did not grow as the rate as expected. So taking all these things into consideration, we took a joint decision that we would work on this a little more, and we are very, very optimistic that by next year we would be in a better position, a far better position to host the Durand Cup, and all efforts in that regard, as has been announced just now, are already afoot, and we are working very hard to ensure that there will be a brilliant tournament next year. As stated right now, we are focusing on this one venue because Shillong will be one of the host cities. There will be other host cities as well, I believe, and only a fixed number of matches will be held here. So we are focusing on GN Stadium, but as stated, infrastructure development in other places within Meghalaya is also underway, not only for the Durand Cup, but for other events in the near future, which we hope to